2nd and 9. Tigers keep it on the ground. Big hole opened up. Berry spins out of a tackle. Still loose. Harlem Berry bouncing it outside, inside the 10. That's the biggest run of the night, and it belongs to the true freshman.
One running back recruit in the country. I mean, look at the downhill and then the ability to break tackles, the shiftiness, the whole thing. Here comes Aaron Anderson out of nowhere with a big block, too. I'm excited to block for the young freshman.
Gatorade Player of the Year of the state of Louisiana as a high school senior, now making big plays.
And a pleasant good evening, good Wednesday morning right here on Pelican Sports TV, folks. We are here with another edition of Pelican Sports TV, Tigers Roar. Myself, Buddy Songy, along with Jonathan Poche in the house. Marty Campbell, as always, pushing all the right buttons to make the cameras work for you. Hope everybody doing well. We are doing these shows each and every week when we can. And I guess, JP, the first question right out of the gate is the identity of the LSU offense. That is the big question. We'll ask Coach Kelly tomorrow afternoon. What do you want to do? Do you want to throw it quick? Do you want to throw it on first down? Do you want to get the ball out into the hands of your receivers? Or do you, unfortunately, want to run right up the gut 20-something times with not much semblance of creativity? And look, you just saw Harlem Berry with the best run of his early career. You got to love 22. Wish he would have been able to get into the end zone. But as always, week 3 for LSU football. Of course, Southern is going out to California. LSU has a gold out. That means that if you want to look cool in the stadium, wear your gold shirt as they host the Florida Gators. 6:30 on ABC. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and one of the ladies on the sidelines giving you all of the sideline updates. Of course, as always, we are brought to you by a bunch of great sponsors, including Man Defined Meats, Team Honda, Team Toyota, Team Mazda, as well as Greystone. And don't forget about our friends over at Demco, Dixie Electric member co-op. And, of course, JP, we couldn't do it without Treads and Care and all of our great sponsors here on all of our shows here on Tigers Roar. JP, good to see you as always. Let's get up here and chop it up. A little disappointing from an offensive standpoint. A little disappointing they gave up the shutout late. But when you have that much emphasis on the first game for 9 months, it's just hard not to have a letdown. There was a little bit of a letdown. And, of course, the major story coming out of the game, Braylon Moore got hurt on the first play, and Trey-Des Green got hurt in the fourth quarter blocking, and that's a scab, and so I don't want to lose my mind on that. But, I've been saying for the last year and a half, use Trey-Des Green as a big wide receiver, not a blocker. And you know what? Coaches are hard-headed.
Yeah, Bud, man, great to be back here with you on Tigers Roar. Certainly appreciate all of you viewing out there. Of course, you can catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. While you're there, leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you think about the show, and we'll get back to you right there at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Yeah, getting back to Saturday, Bud, man. Obviously, the home opener at Tiger Stadium, it was a great crowd. Welcoming home the heroes. The walk down Victory Hill was outstanding. Then the game starts. Braylon Moore goes down first play, and everybody, I'm talking about everybody in the stadium, held their breath. The offense took a breath. DJ Chester, you got to give him credit. He did a great job coming in after the first play. Started against a nose guard practically the entire game. Give credit to La Tech. They played very well defensively. They were flying around the football, pressuring Garrett Nussmeier, short tackling, layering the boom. They came into play at Tiger Stadium. And unfortunately, those who said, in the offseason that, no, Garrett Nussmeier must have a problem with his arm. That's why they held him out of practice. Then Coach Brian Kelly came out and said, no, relax, it's just a pitch count. That ball that he threw to Berrien Brown very early in the game that was severely underthrown for a touchdown pass, that throw alone would have alleviated a whole lot of this. LSU's offense isn't very explosive. Unfortunately, it was like 9 yards underthrown, easily intercepted off the tip. And that was just a bad way for the offense to start the game. Struggled to get the running game going, I thought, at first. And, yeah, what is the identity of this LSU offense? We thought in the offseason with all these wide receivers, how fast, how big, how strong, how talented they were, that Garrett Nussmeier was going to completely air it out all game, take the top off the defenses with Barry and Brown, Zay Thomas, and those kind of playmakers. But still haven't seen the really explosive LSU offense. Obviously, week 1 against Clemson, they did a great job of masking that offensive line, getting the ball out of Garrett Nussmeier's hands extremely quickly, averaged 2.14 seconds on the release. So a little bit changed in the game plan. You mentioned the lack of intensity or emotion or a little bit let down coming off of that week 1 win, and I agree. That was all there. According to Coach Brian Kelly, he thought the team was not flat at all. We'll hear from Coach BK later on in this program. He thought it was a lack of execution. And, yeah, I kind of agree with him. And they're going to prep this week, but, man, start of the SEC schedule at home against Florida. It's going to be a gold out. Florida beat this team last year, so a lot of storylines going into this game. DJ Lagway, a very talented quarterback that played last year as a freshman, extreme arm talent. So it's going to be no slouch of an opponent coming to Tiger Stadium. It's going to be a fist fight. Jack Pyburn and company did a great job again getting after the quarterback. Pressure with 4, bringing exotic blitzes. Loving year 2 under Coach Blake Baker. Everybody looks more confident flying around. So it was an exciting weekend. But, man, I would have loved to see the offense score some more points, to get some more players on the field against La Tech. But you got to give credit to La Tech. They had a very good game plan, played sound defensively, didn't miss tackles, and really made it hard for LSU's offense to put long drives together and not to settle for field goals in the red zone.
All right, folks, we have a lot on tap for you today, and we're going to start off with talking about, let's roll those highlights and get into some of these highlights. Then we'll get a break in, and we'll let you hear from BK, who, by the way, not trying to be a butt here today. I thought BK took the remote control away from Joe Sloan. What you saw in Game 1 is what Joe Sloan wants to call. What you saw in Game 2 is what BK wants to call. And until he gets better calling plays on offense, and specifically red zone plays, that was a travesty trying to get in the end zone, calling the running back dive right up the gut 3 straight times and kicking the field goal. They've got to call better plays. Oh, by the way, Billy Napier under a lot of fire. They got beat late by South Florida, 18-16. And if you look at their schedule, nobody is predicting Billy Napier in Florida to make it. They have the toughest schedule in the country. But let's start off with those highlights as we get into what the Tigers look like on Saturday night against Louisiana Tech. Good crowd to start with. After you got into the third quarter, there were some departures. But as we know, JP, this is going to be a much different atmosphere. And here we go. Nuss with a quick out to, I'm trying to see who that was. But for Nick Anderson, who had a nice game Saturday night.
4 targets to his left, looking that way. Throws that way, dials up a deep shot. And it's intercepted. Big takeaway. Valley.
And coverage here.
No doubt about it. Tech played very hard, and once again, good tackle here in space. Wes Weeks and Devon Keys had big games with stats, but as always, JP, defense had a shutout all the way until late in the game. Here you go, 98-yard drive, I think, right here, starting at the 2, JP.
Yeah, nice jumping catch right there by Barry and Brown. He had 10 targets, had 8 catches for 94 yards. He was the leading receiver for LSU. Did a great job on the outside.
Here's Nuss rolling out. This is another excellent ball. I think that one went to Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas. And once again, here we go, a little bit of a big-time run. And, of course, this was Xavier Thomas down the sidelines for about 45 yards.
Yeah, 48 yards for Xavier Thomas. He gained net 54 on the game. He was the second lead rusher for LSU, right behind Harlem Berry. Here's guy Nussmeier, lots of time in the pocket, finds that big body receiver in Nick Anderson. Made it look easy right there. Great pocket by the offensive line.
Nick is going to have to step up now that Trey'Dez Green is out for a little bit. So Tigers on the board 7-0. Once again, JP, one thing that we do have to give credit to Louisiana Tech for, they pinned LSU back with tough field position. Barry Brown with another catch.
Yeah, I think there was 3 different times they were inside the 10. Punter did a great job with that coverage unit. Here's a good outside play. Aaron Anderson continues his great season so far for LSU, being a reliable target for Garrett Nussmeier.
Get down to the red zone, and they struggle a little bit with play calling. So, as always, Damian Ramos with a field goal, and now 10-0 Tigers early in the late in the first quarter.
Yeah, here's the Weeks brothers. They combined for a sack. Both are credited with half a sack, but really the pressure started with Patrick Payton. And this defensive line, working so well with the linebackers, freeing up those gaps for the blitzers.
Nuss steps up, dumps it off to Aaron Anderson. He just has a knack once again of putting his foot in the ground and make people miss. He leads LSU with 14 receptions after 2 games.
Yeah, Aaron Anderson, 8 catches. 73 yards on the night. Here's getting a touchdown right here. Tough running inside, right behind that big offensive line. But LSU extends their lead right here in the third quarter. Defense still playing strong, holding that shutout.
And, of course, 88 is Donovan Green, the tight end that they got from A&M. He's going to have to play more and be more of the blocking tight end. With Trades Green out. Once again, another stop for the LSU defense. This is now 17-0 Tigers.
That was a great play by Mansour Delaney, the cornerback. Here's Nussmeier dropping out to his left. Finds a good ball right here to Aaron Anderson. That ball's on the money, man. Drifting to your left, that's not an easy throw for a quarterback. He actually puts it in the correct spot for Aaron Anderson to come down with it.
And, of course, as everybody knows, Florida didn't score a bunch of points this weekend. They got beat 18-16. LSU averaging only 20 points a game. That was almost picked, but a great catch and run afterwards as Tigers getting in the red zone again. Barry Brown with another reception, JP.
Yeah, great concentration to focus on the football with the guy flying right past you. Barry Brown comes down with it. Here's a sack on Nussmeier. I thought that was his worst decision of the game, but man, tough on third down right there to take that sack, especially dropping back 12 yards. Puts a little more pressure on Ramos. Made this a 46-yarder, I believe. He did come through, but Ramos, I believe, had 1 or 2 misses on the night, bud, man.
Yeah. He's got 1. He's got 4 for 6 for the year. Here's the kitchen sink. They send it. And, of course, Pyburn, another guy with a half a sack with the ball game on Saturday.
Yeah, great pressure right there by the LSU defense. Here's more pressure. Unfortunately, blown coverage on the outside. This turns to an easy score, the only touchdown in the game for La Tech. Here the score is 20-7.
Very disappointed, Javian Toviano. He got lost. They didn't communicate, gave up the touchdown. They wanted to play a lot of people, but, of course, as we know, they gave up the shutout. It's 20-7 at this point, and basically here we go with a nice return on the kickoff. As we know, I'm going to go ahead and say it, JP. He's going to take one to the house this year, no doubt about it. Barry Brown, just wait for it.
And here's that run we showed you in the intro. Here's a true freshman, Harlem Berry, the kid out of St. Martin's and Episcopal in Metairie, Louisiana. Great block right here by Aaron Anderson. Can't talk enough about the effort, getting out in front, giving all his effort to block for this true freshman. Aaron Anderson, a leader on and off the field.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There you see it, the DJ Chester, and a great cut here. Cuts back. I thought he switched the ball into his left hand, which they normally do, but he didn't do that. Aaron Anderson trying. Barry Brown, if he'd gotten a little bit better. You didn't see the 3 ugly plays, but that is uncalled for, what they called when you get down to the 3-yard line. 3 straight runs, no imagination, and, folks, LSU still cannot push people around inside the 5. We tell you that, JP, is it problematic, or do you think – and look, I said this, you said this, you agreed with me. This team was going to take 3 weeks for the offense to come around, and the defense was going to have to carry them. But 20 points a game and only 118 yards rushing a game, you take away the wide receiver runs and the Harlan Berry run, JP, you're averaging under 2 yards a carry inside the tackles. They're going to have to change play calling and execution if they're going to be more balanced.
Yeah, Bud, man, certainly a cause for concern. I thought in game 1 of this season, I thought LSU did a great job of masking that offensive line, the question mark, especially up in the middle and on the outsides. Got the ball out quick, got it to a lot of bubble screens, a lot of middle screens. It was very creative with the run game, and LSU hadn't shown that wrinkle in the offense, so Clemson was not prepared for it. I thought the LSU offense was going to be able to run the ball at will against La Tech. Unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. They tried to get creative. Unfortunately, that didn't work, so they started banging their head against the wall, trying that A and B gap. And unfortunately, Caden Durham, Harlan Berry, these guys aren't the big bruising backs, and we haven't seen that much of Caleb Jackson yet to really pound that ball inside. So, yeah, what is the identity of this team? You got to set up some type of run game just to convince the defense not to play back that shell Tampa 2, a bite on that play fake, and get the play action working. So, got to get some more things working offensively. I think it starts up front, though, Bud, man. Hopefully, Braylon Moore doesn't miss a lot of action. Look, I'm not trying to disparage DJ Chester. I thought he did a great job last year as a freshman playing center. Did a good job against La Tech coming in, not expecting to start. Look, I think he practiced at left tackle the entire week. I don't think he took many snaps at all. I practiced at center, but came in without a problem. filled in. But Braylon Moore is going to be the straw that stirs the drink for the offensive line. This guy's too valuable, getting into checks. Great run blocker in his own right. Gets to the second level, knows how to double team, pass off blocks, and just the calm leader on the field. So hope Braylon Moore gets back. Obviously, Trey Green, hopefully he gets back. He's a mismatch nightmare, but thankfully LSU Tigers do have a DJ Chester and a Bauer Sharp to fill in, because Bauer Sharp's been outstanding this whole offseason. Did have the fumble in week 1, but looking to bounce back in a big way against Florida. DJ
Chester has been backing up and practicing at center, and he played 12 games there last year, so I don't think that's a problem. But we will see what happens this week. I am not expecting Braylon Moore and or Trey Green to play. We'll get updates on Thursday on all of your social media and LSU sites that you follow. Quick timeout. We come back and let you hear from the head man, Brian Kelly, with his Monday press conference right here on a Wednesday edition of Tigers Roar, right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Designed to take you where you want to go, when you want to go. Get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-50. Named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Award winner. Choose from over 40 CX-50s right now and save at Team Mazda on Airline.
When I started this practice over 35 years ago, I had one goal: to treat every patient like family. And over the years, I've watched kids grow up in this office, come back as parents, and now I'm seeing their kids in the same chair. That kind of trust, it's not something we take for granted. This isn't just where we do dentistry, it's where we make people feel at home. Frugier Family Dentistry, where you treat it like family. Call or visit FrugierFamilyDentistry.com to schedule.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
And we welcome you back September the 10th. By the way, tomorrow, make sure that you honor all of those who we lost with 911. JP, Marty, and myself talking about it before the show. 2001, 24 years ago, we had that incredible, heinous attack with 911. So put all of those families and firefighters and everybody involved in your prayers. All right, let's go right to Brian Kelly. JP, anything you want to say to set it up? Look, if you take care of business, LSU's either a 7.5 or an 8-point favorite against Florida. You take care of business, you beat Southeastern, and then the next big thing is at Ole Miss. Not jumping ahead, though. Got to take care of business. What do you want to see now in week 3 that you haven't seen in the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, and I got to give Coach Brian Kelly credit. Look, this is a slow starting process. He got here at LSU. There was less than 40 scholarship players on the roster. Had to completely rebuild the room, the culture, everything. And now he's really brought in the right type of guys. And the leadership in the locker room amongst the players is what I'm talking about. They all are strong in their faith. They're proud to talk about it. They always give praise to the Lord. So I just had to give him credit. for sticking with the process. I know it's probably tempting to just spend a ton of money, go buy the mercenary in the portal to come help you, spend all that money on Bryce Underwood, outbid Michigan, but I think it's worked out the right way, so I got to give him credit. With that being said, Bob, man, I would love the offense to open it up a little bit with the passing game. If you want to start with the bubble screens, get the defense cheating up, that's fine, but you got to take some shots deep. Get that box a little bit expanded to give Caden Durham some run between the tackles. Look, it plays hand in hand. It's all about execution. I think LSU is capable of running the football against Florida. We saw South Florida do it, so LSU got talent to get it done, just have to execute, and I think they can get it done.
Here we go. Brian Kelly out at LSU earlier this week on Monday with his Monday press conference. Recapping Louisiana Tech, getting you ready for Florida. 6:30 ABC Gold Out game. By the way, Sadir Mitchell, backup tackle, didn't see action the first two games, has left the football team. Didn't fit Kyle Williams' style of defensive tackle play. Here's BK out at LSU on Monday.
All right, we'll start with just a recap from this past weekend. Many times you kind of get a chance to, regroup after the press conference, which, I don't want to go on a long dissertation, but they should have the post-game press conferences today. I mean, it would be so much easier on everybody. You get a chance to watch the film, and you kind of just calm down. It's like you're right in it. We were just, in a battle, and emotions are what they are. But today, I feel a lot better. We won the game. We dominated them statistically within that game. Our defense, up until late in the game, where we made some substitutions, was poised for a shutout. And anytime you can get that, you're really pleased. I think from an offensive standpoint, some individual performances. Barry Brown was outstanding. It was good to see Harlan Berry get involved and do some really good things. Xavion, multi-dimensional, running the football. 9 of 16, I think, on third down efficiency. So, a lot of really good things. So what's the overall perspective after the game is that we didn't underperform. If we underperformed, we probably put that game in reach for La Tech and maybe lose the game. But it was not an elite performance. And as I mentioned to you, that performance is everybody. I have to coach better. Our coaches have to be better teachers and coaches. We've got to be much more organized in certain areas. And then our players have to reach and exceed the standard of what we expect and what they expect from themselves. And we didn't have that across the board. So, as I stand here before you, we're 2-0. We learned a lot of lessons. And the lessons now become great lessons if we learn. You got to learn from them. You can't just have lessons and go, I didn't learn much. Looking back on it, there's a lot of good things to take out of this game for us moving into the SEC play and an outstanding opponent in Florida. So with that, I'll segue right into the game this weekend. And I'll start with, we're in Tiger Stadium. And so we need to be Death Valley. We need to live up to our resume as the most difficult place to play in the country because it's SEC time. So you had your warm-up tailgates. You got your recipes down. You got how much you need for drinking. Now, let's go get it. Let's make Tiger Stadium what it has been built on, and that is an incredibly difficult place to play. And so that's my first shout out to our fan base. We need you this weekend. And then we'll provide the standard in terms of how we need to play. It's a really good football team we're playing in Florida. And we know that. It starts with their quarterback. DJ is really arm talent off the charts. He can throw the football. He's a guy that, when you look at quarterbacks in this league, he has elite talent. But he's got guys around him. Jaden Baugh is really difficult to defend. He's physical. He's got great instincts. He's got toughness. He's 230 pounds. And now you complement him with the freshman, Vernell Brown, who is an electric receiver and probably one of the more consistent guys on their team is, Eugene Wilson at the slot. I mean, they have a nice balance of running the football and certainly the quarterback position and some skill guys on the offensive side of the ball. So I love the center Slaughter. Barber's a great tackle. So they get some really good football players. From a defensive standpoint, Coach Roberts does a really good job with simulated pressures, 3 down, 4 down, giving you looks, mixing things up to make it really difficult. And from a defensive perspective, we saw the 3-3-5 and, had some difficulties with that recognition. It'll certainly be similar in terms of what they try to do and make things difficult and keep the ball in front of them. They do a great job of not giving up big plays and keeping the points down. Really solid in special teams. Smack's got a huge leg. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Brown, he's averaging 21 yards per punt return. So this is a talented football team. And, look, I can't predict, what happened with them versus this week. They were the better team. They didn't play to their standard. So they're going to play to their standard this week, and we know that. Playing Florida is always a big game on everybody's schedule. We'll just need to worry about ourselves and play to our standard. So with that, we'll open up the questions.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
What did the MRI show for Braylon and Tradez? How many games do you think they're going to miss, and what's the plan without them in the meantime?
MRIs, were positive. We didn't get the true sense that we have a high ankle sprain with Braylon. There was nothing that gave us that sense that when we looked at the MRI that, hey, this is a tightrope procedure and he's going to be out for, 4 weeks. He's going to be day to day. We'll get him out there tomorrow. We'll see how he feels. He felt better today. So I think we're going to list him as questionable, and that could change to probable as we go through the week. We'll see how he progresses. Tradez has a sprain. The good news is it's a sprained MCL. And so, as you know, those are injuries that you can come back from, and rather quickly. We'll see where he is. We'll list him as questionable and work our way through the week and see where he is at the end of the week.
Hey, Coach Kelly, right here.
Yes, sir.
You win at Clemson and Louisiana Tech. You mentioned that y'all did well in the stat category. If that's a game where y'all win 42-0, 49-0, do you think getting the guys more prepared this week after playing a game they didn't meet up to their standards, do you think that now can open their eyes? Because if y'all would have smoked Louisiana Tech, I'm sure everybody would have felt like, hey, we're 2-0, we're number 3 in America, we're great, and everybody's telling them they're great. Some people are, kind of pumping the brakes now. Do you feel like that can give you an edge this week to get the guys to refocus?
Yeah, I don't think we listen to the narratives as much as we really focus on, what are the things that we would learn. I would rather won 49-0. We would have got a chance to get a lot of other guys in the game that we could not get into the game that deserve to play. But on the other side of it, it shows you that you've got a consistent team that clearly understands, how to prepare and then how to perform at a high level. That wasn't an elite performance. So we go back to our process, and our process is, how did we prepare during the week? What are some of the things that we need to do better and double down on? And so if you ask me, I'd like to win and learn lessons. That's really the crux of this. And, we won the game, and we learned some really good lessons.
Yeah, Brian, the running game on Saturday, was it a lack of, for better words, play calling as far as a variety of different runs, which you had at Clemson, or was it more execution, or both?
I think we have to, there's some things that we can address relative to the fundamentals and teaching and technique. I think we can be technically better. It's a difficult defense to run on. I mean, it's a 3-3 with, a middle rover. It's a difficult, doesn't mean you can't, and we did. We got the ball outside. We were able to carve enough. We want to be better, and that's kind of what I'm saying to you in the same breath of we want to improve and be critical in our analysis. There are some things that we need to do better as coaches and players, and I think that that's probably the run game more than anything else.
With Trey Green being out, how critical do you think?
He's not out.
Questionable, sorry.
Okay, there you go.
With Trey Green being questionable, how important do you think it will be for Chris Hilton to step up against Florida's secondary?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is an important part, right? I mean, but, they play different positions. We need, Bauer Sharp is going to have to play. We hope that Trey plays. We're not sure yet. We'll let the week kind of dictate that. But we're better positioned. Donovan Green is an experienced player that can step in and give us the things that we need. And look, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we all know it's not one player. Would we like him there? Yeah, we hope he's playing on Saturday. But if he's not, we'll be prepared to make adjustments.
Right. Not to suggest you should have approached it differently, but do you think all the emphasis on beating Clemson, I mean, months of it, do you think that led to something of a letdown in intensity or focus for the game last week?
No, and I'm honest with you, right? I'll tell you what I see. Our effort was really good. Our pregame was really good. We weren't flat, lacking emotion. You worry about that sometimes with what you just said, is that did you get too high for one and then dip down? Ours was really much more about the details. Our focus was not great from everybody. There were some that had great focus, but we need that from everybody, and our attention to detail. So our traits were a little off. And when our traits are off a little bit, I go back to looking at, did we prepare as well this week, right, in that sense? And we're going to talk about it. And the preparation needs to be elite each and every week. It was elite against Clemson. We're going to ask that question to our team. Was our preparation elite? And I think we're going to find out that for some it was, and for others we need to do better. And that's going back to I want to learn lessons and win at the same time. But I really liked the energy we played with, the want to and the care, and not looking at La Tech and saying, well, this isn't Clemson. I didn't feel that at all. What I felt was lack of attention to detail in some areas. Look, we had a penalty. I'll give you an example. We're kicking off at the 50-yard line. Now, if you kick that thing out of bounds, it's a 30-yard penalty. They start on the 20, right? Or they tell you to back up 5, and then we kick it out of the end zone. That is a play we've gone over and over and over and over for tactical advantage, and we line drive it into the front line guy. Unacceptable. So we had things like that occur that is attention to detail and being on top of your work. And so if I felt like we were flat and unemotional and didn't play with a desire that we need to, I'd be a lot more worried going into this game.
By the way, LSU and Florida are tied all-time in their series, 34-34-3. BK is 2-1 against Billy Napier and Florida. 6:30 ABC, gold out game. And, of course, in the big one in the SEC this weekend, Georgia and Tennessee at 2:30. Quick timeout. Back with more as players, and got a little Saints stuff for you at the end on a Wednesday edition of Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Emphasizing the commitment to customer and passenger safety, Mazda's proud to have received 8 coveted Top Safety Pick Plus awards from the IIHS for 2025, more than any other brand. Come experience Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we welcome you back. A quick moving, fast-paced Wednesday morning here in the Pelican Sports TV studios. Jonathan Poche, the producer and co-host, and really destroy the Thursday drink over here. Marty Campbell, legendary Marty Campbell. All of the footage you see from Marty with the games, of course, Southern, all the high school games. And JP, now we get into 2 of the team captains. We'll give you a little bit of Nuss and Whit Weeks. Nuss really not saying too much in these interviews. I think he's a little frustrated that they changed the offense. Gut feeling, question to you, do they go back and call it like they did in the first game, or is it going to be a combination of the 2 game plans? And what do you prefer with the talent and the personnel on this 2025 LSU offense?
Well, it really depends on the offensive line, Bud, man. To me, the game one game plan was great. I mean, you get the ball out of your hand quick, get it to the playmakers on the outside, let them get in space, make somebody miss, try to get a big play. I think you keep most of that, but you got to sprinkle in a stretch the field type of vertical attack for Garrett Nussmeier to find these receivers. I mean, so many of them run under a 4.4. You got to utilize that speed. I understand it's the SEC. I understand you're playing Florida. From the speed state, they're going to have a lot of speed too. But you got to stretch that defense, take the top off the secondary, make them expand that box to give some running lanes up the middle. And, yeah, got to find somebody that's going to carry the rock, get those tough yards. Can't put all that wear and tear on Caden Durham's treads. Harlan Berry, true freshman, was the leading rusher for LSU. But, again, they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with Harlan Berry. Are they going to redshirt him eventually? That remains to be seen. Right now, too variable in my opinion. So you're going to find him a role in this offense. But, man, you got to combine getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick, keeping Gus Nussmeier upright, but got to have some type of reliable offense in the red zone. Starting with the run game, got to get more creative on how to score some points. Can't settle for field goals, especially now that the SEC starts.
Got to get better with red zone play calling, and everybody knows all through the years you've heard me on all the different sites and mediums. Throw the football on first down. Throw the ball to set up the run. Here's Nuss and Whit Weeks talking with members of the media out at LSU yesterday afternoon.
I think we're still kind of growing into our identity, and trying to work out the kinks. And so I think that, it was a learning experience for us. And obviously, it's great when you can learn from a win, So just trying to get better going into this week.
Garrett, it's going to be important for you guys to start off, especially SEC play, 1-0, especially going up against a Florida team that also has a really good quarterback. Just what have you seen from them, and how are you preparing for a team like Florida?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously, a really good team. And, anytime LSU and Florida play, there's a lot of hatred, and they're going to come here expecting to try and get a win. And so we're definitely preparing that way. I think we had a great day of practice today, and hopefully to continue that into the week. And, we're ready for this. We're excited for this opportunity. SEC play, was something we've been waiting on, for 6 months. And so very, very exciting. As we said all offseason, we're looking to go 1-0 again. So.
you see any similarities from this Florida defense from last year when you played in the swamp?
Yeah.
I believe they got to you 5 times. You see any similarities, or are they kind of pretty different?
Yeah, I mean, no, I won't share too much into what we're thinking, but obviously, very good defense, same defense we played last year, and obviously different players and things like that. But it's an opportunity that we're looking forward to. Obviously a really good team and a really good program with a really good defense. So.
You mentioned the identity of the offense. What do you guys want the identity of the offense to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more of just we're continuing to work and kind of show who we are. I don't know that I necessarily want to put a label on what we are. I think that, we'd rather just do the talking on the field, and you guys can label us whatever you'd like, I think that's kind of our mindset. And so just correcting the mistakes, and as I said, it's a great opportunity to be able to learn from a win. So.
How important is it for you guys to be balanced and complementary in the run and the pass game this week?
Yeah, I would say that's probably not a question for me. I guess if you asked me, we'd throw it every play. But Coach Sloan has done an unbelievable job of kind of mixing that and hiding tendencies and things like that. So I guess we'll see.
Garrett, Aaron Anderson, he missed most of fall camp. He'd battled a couple nagging injuries, but he's been great the first 2 weeks. I mean, what's it like having a guy like that, a guy that you built chemistry with a year ago, kind of as your returning guy going into the season?
Yeah, he's done an unbelievable job thus far, obviously. He was able to make plays for us big time in week 1, and he made some plays the other night as well. And so, obviously, we all know what Aaron is. He's a great football player, somebody that I look to in times of need, and he can do special things with the ball in his hand. So it's just about giving him opportunities to make plays.
I mean, as far as practice goes, we had our Tuesday practice today. I thought we got after it. The rain got us, so we had to go inside, but I'm excited. I'm excited to get in Death Valley against an SEC opponent. I know it's going to be rocking, and those are the fun games to play in.
You guys have done such a good job, second half of the game, right? You shut out Clemson, you give up the late touchdown against Tech. But what is it about this defense that makes you guys so good? Because, you saw the jump at Missouri year 1 to year 2 under Baker. Now you guys have kind of done it here. I mean, what is it about year 2 under Blake Baker?
Mm-hmm. I think it's all the buy-in from the guys. We got a lot more than 11 dudes who are playing really good defense right now. So I really think it's just the buy-in. We're all buying into Coach Baker's culture, flying around, having fun, making havoc plays.
Wait, can you talk about the threat that DJ Lagway poses as a quarterback?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, one, he's hard to get on the ground. So we know whenever we get back there, we're going to have to wrap up and bring him down because he's a big dude. And other than that, he can sling it. I mean, he can throw the ball all over the field. And I think, in my opinion, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So we're going to have to get after him.
Florida's coming off a tough loss to USF at home. What do you see from them on film, and what makes them different from last year?
I think they're talented. They got the players that they have. I mean, they got talent at receiver. Their offensive line is huge and fast. It's going to be a battle for sure. I mean, we know what happened to them last week, so they're only going to come into this game 10 times more hungry. So we know what opponent we're about to face.
Defense is only the teams have only scored 17 points against the defense. How would you assess the chemistry of your defensive group so far?
So far, I think it's been good, but I think we have a far ways to go as a unit. We turn the film on Sunday, and there's so many plays that we wish we could get back. Here and there, it's like, oh man, if we would have just trusted our eyes, trusted our keys, we can be so much better as a unit than we are right now.
Those are the two captains, and I'm going to call it right now, folks. Whit Weeks with a big play and a sack, and Garrett Nussmeier is going to throw the football a little bit better. Hey, let's tell you about the other side, the side of the fence. Billy Napier, incredibly tough schedule on paper. They have LSU this weekend and then at Miami. They could be opening up this season, folks, 1-3. Here's Billy Napier, and yes, he's going to call the plays on Saturday night. He's not giving it up. Here's the fourth-year head coach at Florida, Billy Napier.
Keep it short and sweet here relative to the game. I think the emphasis with the players is the first way we win is you don't beat yourself. And I think that, not to discredit South Florida, but I think we contributed to their efforts quite a bit. So we recapped that after the game. I think the red zone scoring early really caused us to lose the momentum. We had a chance to really take control of the game. I think that's an important lesson. Obviously, over 100 yards of penalties, which has to be addressed. And then the safety, I do think situationally you've got to play a little bit better in 2-minute on defense. And then the transitions there in the second and third quarter got to be a little bit better. So there is a lot of good on the tape. I did think we moved the ball well at times, in particular in the first half. But missed opportunities, and not to, again, discredit South Florida. I thought their staff and their team did a really good job. They played extremely hard in the game and made some plays when they were presented there. So you guys know, much like I do and our team knows, that you got to turn the page, and that is physical, that's mental, and that is emotional. And I think it's really important. What are we going to do with the lessons that we learned, and what are we going to do with the emotions that we feel? And I think it's really important that our team channels that in the right direction. So when you get put in these situations, you have to do the next right thing, and you got to always make your decisions in the best interest of the team. And I think our football team and staff is prepared to do that. Still have a lot of confidence in this group. It's important to know. I do think that this group, when they do it right, it is fun to watch. And we need to do that more consistently going forward to put our team in position to win. LSU has a really good football team and a veteran quarterback, really unique skill on offense, dynamic returners, and a defense that's been retooled through the portal. Some younger players that are a year older, and obviously on tape here, just 2 games in, you can see there's a ton of talent there. So Coach Kelly has put together a good football team. We know that going on the road in this league is challenging, and it's one that, I think our players get excited about going to play in these types of venues. There's something about being a competitor and going into somebody else's house and it being you versus them. And I think we're building momentum towards that. We're excited about the challenge of playing this team. So we're focused on our improvement this week. Obviously, we've got a lot of things to clean up, but in general, I know you got a lot of questions, so we can get to it.
The offensive line was supposed to be like kind of the strength of this offense potentially, right?
Right.
The other night, I think every position had a penalty against it. What do you feel like's going on up there? And LSU, looking at it, I mean, they're giving up less than 2 yards a carry right now, so the offensive line's obviously going to be a huge factor this week.
No, I thought they did a lot of good things in the game. Obviously, the penalties you'd like to have back, but the procedure penalties mainly, okay? I can deal with a holding on occasion. I know we had 2 of those, but I think the procedure issues are the ones that you'd like to have back. But no, that group's done a lot of really good things as well. Can they do better? Absolutely. But we also rushed the ball effectively at times the other night, and I thought they did a nice job. So, look, I think offensive football is a game of precision. It's a rhythm, it's a synergy. And I think the issues you run into sometimes are when one player maybe isn't quite right and it costs you a play, right? So we're still finding ourselves there a little bit at times. We need more plays where we're going 11 for 11, and that's every position contributing to that, right? So, and I do think that ultimately has led to some of our inconsistencies. But there's also a lot of good football on the tape, a lot of bright spots on the tape.
And look, not trying to pour water on his hot seat, but it's going to be, JP, this could be the last time you see Billy Napier in Tiger Stadium. They have a tremendously tough schedule, as hard as anybody in the country, and they've got a gauntlet. If they win 4 games, JP, they'd have a good year with this start, losing to South Florida, and now back-to-back weeks at LSU and at Miami next weekend.
Yeah, the SEC does no favors for the schedule, and of course, it's a gauntlet for every team. But I think Coach Billy Napier has done a fine job. It's tough to rebuild the program, to rebuild the culture, to rebuild the entire environment. And look, LSU was in a very similar position when they brought in Brian Kelly to take over from Coach Joe. It was in shambles, and Billy Napier taking over for two other head coaches, Will Muschamp. I mean, just the names go on. A storied program, no doubt, had a lot of success in the mid-2000s. Tim Tebow, obviously, a College Football Hall of Famer. A lot of talent has been through there, a lot of great coaches, Heisman winners. And it's always fun to play Florida LSU. So, look, Florida's coming out with everything on the line. They understand they lost last week to a team they should have beat handedly, but they lost 18-16 South Florida. They're coming in with a huge chip on their shoulder, and they're not going to mind a fist fight. If they're going to be fighting for their season, for their coach, they don't mind it being very physical. And LSU's going to have to answer the call. Strap it up tight. Get those chin straps buckled, because it's definitely going to be a physical fight, especially in the trenches. And LSU, I believe, has the talent to win on both sides of football in the trenches.
Final timeout. We come back to wrap it up with a little Saints talk. Oh, by the way, BK says, show up, Tiger fans. We need you to make Tiger Stadium the place it can be on a Saturday night. So be ready to go. Wear your gold. And we come back with a little Saints talk to wrap it up on Tigers Roar on a Wednesday afternoon edition right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
When I started Poche Family Dentistry, my goal was simple: treat every patient like family and provide the kind of dental care we'd want for our own.
And that's still the way we do it here. Whether it's cleanings, implants, or cosmetic work, we take time, explain every step, and treat people the right way.
People come here because they trust us, and they send the people they care about. That means everything.
And we're proud to keep that going right here in Baton Rouge.
Poche Family Dentistry, rooted in family and focused on you.
And appreciate our friends over at Poche Dental. They do a fantastic job. Check them out. Go see them. Tell them you heard about them right here on Pelican Sports Radio. Spencer Rattler playing a little bit better. Kellen Moore, about 3 minutes with the quarterback and coach of the Saints as we wrap up Tigers Roar on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really well executed drive. Thought we, took completions when they were there and moved the ball at an elite level on that last drive. We've been in that situation, I feel like, so much. We're very comfortable doing that tempo at the end. Game of inches, think that guy made a good play on that ball to Jawan. But I told Jawan before that play, hey, I'm coming at you, so be ready. And, I'll throw that to him 100 times out of 100, So very close, got to some way finish that out.
You put it extremely high, and he got to it. You put it where you wanted to, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only spot it could be. They're playing very soft, in that situation of the game. And, we've repped that play many times. That's where we wanted it to be.
How do you evaluate your performance today?
I thought it was fine. I think as a group, 13 penalties as a team, you're not going to win many games with that. Got to finish in the red zone when we have opportunities. I think we got down there and kind of stalled out. Got to figure out a way to be better there. But I thought our energy was great. I thought we were very balanced in the first half with our run and pass game, moving the ball pretty well. It was a battle the whole game till the end. Defense played well. Brian had a great block kick. We got down there. I think we got a field goal right there. We want 7 points there. But literally came down to the last second. And I'm telling the guys, hey, we're going to go down and win this game, and we all 100% thought that was going to happen.
We got a chance to watch the film today. It was an awesome game. It was an awesome game. Ultimately we had some missed opportunities, and so we got to play a cleaner game. We got to give ourselves a chance, but we put ourselves in a position to compete all the way to the end. Love the way our guys competed, played. The play style was awesome. We just got to play a smarter, cleaner game, and we'll continue to grow in that aspect.
It seemed like Julian played the whole game. When did that come up?
It really wasn't until after the game that it was recognized, and so really even after the game, once Julian went home, and so bummer for him, just because he's done such an amazing job of coming in here and putting himself in an awesome position to have a great season, and he played great on Sunday as well.
Question about a play down in the red zone, the 3rd and 5 from it looked like Chris was maybe the only guy that was running a route with. Was that kind of like a sneak attack type play, or what was supposed to happen?
Yeah, the goal was to stay down there and give ourselves a couple run opportunities because we were 2nd and 3 at the 3, and obviously we lost a few yards, and it was kind of a 1-2 play call combination, and put ourselves in a little bit of a challenging spot with the negative run, and it was a challenging spot, and so as a result we kind of only had one guy left available to us and had the ability to hand the ball off or throw it, and and so it kind of turned into a tough deal there.
Spencer was saying that maybe he was expecting a little bit more pressure from Arizona, and they ended up playing a lot more like shell. Is that maybe something you anticipate seeing a lot of just because of what y'all have been good at in the past with the kind of vertical game?
It's a fair assessment, I think. Week ones, we knew there was always going to be an element of unknown. I think they did an excellent job. They played a lot of cover 2 early in the game. We recognize that. They did a good job of making it earn it. We had 4 10-plus play drives. They were going to make us go the distance in some of those situations. When we did have the one-on-one opportunities, we weren't able to capitalize on those in some situational football. And so it was a good experience for our guys. Ultimately, we weren't able to create the explosives that you need in this league, and we weren't able to finish drives as the drives progressed.
All right, folks, we have the history of when we see losses, you will see the sunglasses. JP, I will say this. A texter said I thought they'd have a chance in the fourth quarter. Perfect ball, best ball sprint Rattler through all game long, and Juwan Johnson did not carry that and I guess you could say covet and make the catch and get in the end zone. You'd think they would have gone for 2 had they made that touchdown.
Yeah, I think you steal a win right there. But, man, give Kellen Moore credit not to let his guys give up. Cam Jordan, playing like a younger man, had 2 sacks in the game. It took him to week 9 last season to accumulate 2 sacks. So the older guys are fired up for Coach Kellen Moore. Had a chance to win in the fourth quarter. That's all you can ask for with this roster. Yeah, Juwan Johnson quickly becoming like Jared Cook levels of incompetent for tight end at Saints. But, hey, look, I'm picking them to win against the 49ers. Brock Purdy can't play. I think they'll have a great shot. So look for the Saints this weekend.
All right, I got LSU 27-16 over Florida. The same score Florida beat LSU by last week. Saints host Frisco on Sunday at noon. See you next week, everybody.